This production is sponsored by S&J Detailing, the patio and driveway cleaning experts. Quote Super League Raw on quotation for an exclusive discount. S&J Detailing and Super League Raw, washing away the competition. So welcome to the Captain's Run. As always, myself and Stef are here. We're on a Thursday, slightly later, 8 o'clock. And I just realised, Stef, and I do apologise, it's the wrong sponsor. The actual sponsor for the Captain's Run, of course, is the Good Estate Agent. But David has been incredibly busy getting this show together. So I'm sure you forgive me for that. But we'll change the little banner, mate. I will change the banner.
I'm more than happy for Joel to get a promotion, mate. No problem with that at all.
Fair enough. Saves me a job. We'll keep the love. We'll keep changing the graphics as we go for the show. Welcome to Grand Final Eve. Yes, what a game we've got this time. It'll be over in 24 hours' time, Steph. Where has the season gone?
Yeah, it's flown by, hasn't it, mate? And no, I'm really, really excited for tomorrow. I'd have been a bit more nervous if we'd have beat Wigan last week, but no, I'm looking forward to going there and just enjoying what will be hopefully a fantastic game of rugby league.
Couldn't agree more. Make sure you share that we're on this evening, of course, a new time. A lot of people will be caught out by that. Hopefully we get a good crowd as we're going through the evening. So if you're on social media, go and share that we are live. The show is live. Go and make sure that everybody knows that we are on this evening. Not the norm, but good to have everybody with us, of course. Right, we have got special guests with us as it's the final Captain's Run of the season. We have got, of course, Mr. Scholes. Here he is, making sure his banner is on the screen. Oh, Mr. Scholes, are you well?
Good evening. Very well. Very excited. Thank you.
Indeed. And Greg, we haven't got Greg's camera. Greg's frozen already. Oh, he's there. Here he comes. Yeah, you're there. Fair enough. We couldn't see them for a minute. Good evening to you, Mr. Nixon. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm definitely here. For how long? I don't know, but I'm definitely here for now.
Fantastic. And we've also got, as well, as you would expect, because it's the Captain's Run, it's the grand final. We've got Bazza Kingston representing Hull KR. Good evening to you, Bazza.
Good evening, Dave. Thanks for having us on this special night, kiddo.
And an equally biased man in Craig Ford for the Wigan Warriors. Hello, Craig.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having us on again.
Not at all, boys. Not at all. And as the show goes on, we might even bring more people on. We might even give people the opportunity to come and have their views of the game. But first things first, we've got a lot to get through between now and then. How's the nerves, boys? How's the nerves?
Mate, I'm calm as you like, Dave. I feel great. Totally different to 2024, but a lot's changed since then. So yeah, mate, I'm all good. You're all good, Craig?
I feel like I'm about to go and take my driving test. I'm really nervous about tomorrow, to be honest. I think it's going to be a classic game, and I just don't know which way it's going to go.
Well, let's hope it's a belting game. It's got everything going for it. It really, really has. Well, let's start the show by just clearing a few bits of housekeeping up, of course. Super League. So we all KR won 13 times in Super League against the Wigan Warriors. They've had a draw along the way as well. Wigan have won 30. So history, as you would expect, in the favour of the Wigan Warriors going into this one. Right then, Craig, for you, for starters, mate, Wigan Warriors will be making a record-equaling 14th appearance at the grand final, going level with Saints, mate. That must make you feel quite happy.
It does. Obviously, a lot of times when we talk about the banter between Wigan and Saints fans is usually who's the most successful club, and you've got St Helens being the most successful team in the Super League era. And now that we've level with them on grand final appearances and we'll catch them up on the trophies, it does fit. It's quite good for this experience for us to be catching them up there and keeping that level of banter going.
Yes, absolutely. But just so that you know, Bazza, it's not all that bad, mate. Wigan also hold the record for the most defeats in the grand final with 6, mate. And if you beat them, that goes to 7.
Well, yeah, that's what dreams are made of, mate. But again, anything can happen. I'm just looking at the fact of, from a KR perspective, mate, we've made four finals out of the last 6, so it's not a bad record for Rovers, mate. So hopefully we can make Wigan lose the 7th and we finally get a grand final. You never know.
Well, it would be nice for you. Of course it would. It would be nice. Right, okay. Craig, I will bring the boys in. Just bear with us, boys. We'll get off with the guests for just to start us off as it's Wigan against KR. Craig, KR this year. I think you've said a couple of times they look tired as the back end of the season, as they've only used. Obviously, they've not used as many players. Perhaps would you stand by that?
I think the week off last week did them a world of good, if I'm totally honest. I think they showed us to be a lot more refreshed. They've come back, they're a lot more energized from it. I think there was starting to look a bit tired. I thought all the games, everything they played, was starting to take the toll on them. But that last week against St Helens, they showed what they can do. Now they feel a bit more refreshed, and it looks a bit more like the whole car that we've seen at the midpoint of the season.
Did you see an improvement, Bazza, week off?
Yeah, I saw a lot more resilience, a lot stiffer defence. Definitely a completely different attitude as to the one we saw against Wakefield and equally Warrington. We definitely look like we tightened our defence up, and we look like we was grateful of that week off. So yeah, very happy with that.
Fair enough. Right, boys, let's have a bit of fun with the lads. The usual panellers. Wigan Warriors have used 26 players thus far in the Super League campaign. Only one player has played all 28 games. Anybody want to have a guess who that is for the Wigan Warriors? Not, of course, Craig. This is the normal panel, Craig. Go on. Any ideas, lads?
Jake Wardle.
You're going Wardle? No, it's not Wardle. So that's you out. Field? No. Field has not played them all. Joel?
Harry Smith?
No. The answer is Craig.
It is
Ellis, Cade Ellis.
It is Cade
yeah.
Ellis.
That's
It is
it,
Cade Ellis. That's exactly what it is. He bailed you out there, Craig.
He did, Stef. Thanks.
He proper bailed Craig out there, didn't he? No doubt about that whatsoever. So on the basis that you've played 26 players this season, Bazza, how many has your team played in your squad, would you say?
I think we've used 25 men this year.
Good lad. Well done, mate. And who's your biggest... let's go around the panel again. Who's played the most games for KR boys this year? There's actually a few of them. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 players who've played 27 of the 28 rounds. So you've got a good chance here of getting one right, Greg. Go on, mate.
Thanks. Cheers, mate. Hadley?
No. So that's you gone again. Stef? Are you going?
Yes.
Who?
Tom Davis.
Tom Davis. Sorry, mate. You broke up there. No, not Tom. Joel?
I was thinking it could have been Joe Burgess, but I think he had a game.
No,
it was
I need a game off.
Oh man. Subs count.
just give us a name.
Jack Broadbent?
Jack Broadbent, no. I'm afraid no. Jack, because Jack has also won a few games. No, the actual, Jezzy's one of them. Petter Hiku, Elliot Minchella, and Jai Whitbread.
You want to say Minchella, but I thought he missed a chunk in the middle.
27 out of 28. 27 out of 28. There you go. Right, okay. So, Bazza, you've got the home dressing room. How many times has the home team in the grand final won the grand final, like the 26 grand finals we've had? How many times has the home team won?
Well, I saw a stat the other day saying 26, but again, I don't know what's in that.
Well, there's 26. There's been 26 grand finals. Of the 26 grand finals, how many times has the home dressing room won it? In the
I'm gonna hazard a guess around 18.
18, Craig.
24.
24, Greg.
See, I've heard the same rumor as Baz that it's all 26, but I don't think it is.
No,
I think it's about 21.
Yeah, right. No, it can't be 26. 26 grand finals. The home team hasn't won it every time, has it?
Yeah, there was something flying around social media last week, but I think it's about 21. Well,
social media said that Mikey Lewis won the Man of Steel on Tuesday.
Yeah.
There you go.
21.
Stef, how many?
16.
Ooh, and Joel?
I'd have said 14.
Tell you what, you've gone either side, you two. 15. 15 of the grand finals have gone in the home dressing room. And who's in the home dressing room, Bazza?
We are for a change.
57% of the grand finals have gone the way of the home dressing room. So a little bit there going in your favour, perhaps. Do you do superstition, fellas? No.
I do slightly. I do personally, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Happy days. Wonderful stuff. Right, where are we going to go next? Let's have a quick look. I'm sorry, I've got that. We've got that much we're getting through tonight. I'm like, what are we doing? Did I put them in? Yeah, should we go there next? No. Let's just go in the order that I've done it. Let's just do it in the order I've done it, and I'll take the pressure off myself. Here we go. So here's a question for us all. Are we going to see a top 5 attendance on Saturday? These are the top 5 attendances at Old Trafford since Super League began. The best attendance was 2015 between the Rhinos and the Warriors, 73,512. Then it was 2017, 72,827. Saints against Hull FC, great crowd, got to be said, 2006, 72,582. Then the Warriors and Saints in 2010 got 71,526. And in 2007, it was, again, the Rhinos against Saints, 71,352. Last year's attendance, boys, I think I'm right in saying, is the 10th highest attendance in grand final history. Who thinks we could actually top, well, first of all, can we top 70,000? Will we see an increased crowd on 2024?
Yeah.
Do we think we will get a crowd that will hit that top 5?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I've not
Very
seen
possible.
anything today. Has anybody seen anything today as to where we're up to? I know we broke 70, haven't we?
Yeah, we broke 70 today in the week.
Yeah, so I know we broke 70. I've just not seen anything to say where we're up to with that. But yeah, hopefully a brilliant crowd there. But yeah, a bit of history again for you guys as we start to warm up to this debate tonight. Will we get a top 5? Possibly we will. I think we probably will break the top 5, which again is great for the sport if we do, because we're going in the right direction. But how high up that table can we get? Well, we'll unwrap that in Super League Raw Weekly, round unpack, final whistle, you name it, all the good stuff that's coming your way this week after the grand final. We'll make sure that we dip back into that one. Right, let's get into this. Of course, these two have played each other twice this season and unbelievably both lost away, which is, sorry, lost at home, my apologies. Both lost at home. So we'll start off with the game in round 7, Craig. A 28-12 win for the Wigan Warriors at Craven Park. You were there that day. What were your recollections of the day? Can you remember?
Yeah, I thought KR started very well. Then Mickey Lauren picked up his injury, and then he couldn't get off the pitch quick enough due to how they played it, and Wigan took full advantage of it. And then it became the French and Field show. Obviously, some of the standing members was when Hadley squared up with and Sember, and the referee said you don't want to have a scrap with him, which I don't know, Hadley probably might, but yeah, and it was obviously just some just fantastic play in the second half from Wigan, which helped us, which got us the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Good win as well. Good win, because at that point in time, KR were in great form. It was a cracking win. And then in round 22, Baz, you go to the Brick Community Stadium, and it probably should have been a lot more comfortable than it ended up being, as I recall in that game. Wigan didn't go away and really put a scare on you in the second half, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the game where Harry Smith won that Oscar for his little bit of play acting, but I think there was a lot of narrative around that game from a psychological point of view. You know, Wigan always having that psychological edge over us that we couldn't win across at the Brick, which, you know, doesn't help us really going to Old Trafford, and we'd not beat him for a few years. So it was a massive win. I think what I took out of that was a lot of people were saying, like, we won that game because Wigan didn't have Bevan French at the time. But again, if you rewind to beginning of the year, we didn't have Mikey Lewis. So I think that's what's going to make this final even more fascinating, because we're going to have two full-strength sides going at each other.
Yes, let's hope so. Over the course of those two games, it's fair to say, Stef, probably not much in it.
No, I don't think there's much in either team, especially when, like Bazza says, both at full strength. That's going to be the most intriguing thing, because what we didn't want is to be robbed of suspensions and injuries of our best players, and there to be excuses on either side. There's none of that this week. It's tomorrow, should I say? It's both the best sides going at each other, so it's going to make a fantastic competition. And from a neutral perspective, it's got us all salivating, hasn't it?
Absolutely. And I don't know about you, Greg, but this is the only one I'm having this evening. Something tells me my bladder is going to be well and truly hammered tomorrow. But for everybody who's joining us live on the Captain's Run, good evening to everybody on Grand Final Eve. Greg,
yeah.
Like I say, it really is a toss of a coin. We're going to get into some proper analysis in a minute, but opening thoughts in terms of how close these two are?
Oh, it's a piece of paper between them. I think, I hope, and I think we're going to have a classic. And something I didn't realise is that Wigan have never won a third grand final on the bounce. I think Craig will correct me if that's wrong, but I heard today that Wigan have gone back to back, but never managed to get over the line on a third, and this will be their third win. So Wigan have got a lot to play for. I think Hull KR will have learned from that experience last year. I think losing in the Challenge Cup final, losing last year's grand final, helped them to get over the line in the Challenge Cup final this year. You've got to lose one to win one. I'm really looking forward to it. Pardon?
Not in Warrington's case.
Well, yeah, that's Warrington, mate. You know what I mean? We're talking about proper rugby league teams here, mate. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And for once, I'm glad Warrington aren't in it, because I think if Warrington had come up against either of these two sides, I don't think Warrington will be coming away with that trophy. I think it's going to be I hope it's going to be an absolutely fantastic game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it'll probably be a lot higher. The score will be a lot higher than last year.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, it's a dry track, which will hopefully help matters. I mean, Joel, there's no doubt about it. It's the right final, isn't it? As a neutral, this is the right final. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, best two also been the last year, so it's going to be very interesting to see how we go. I think the thing is, the book proved on last, so and last year was a great matchup. So this year I think it's going to be absolutely epic. I'm super excited to go. And it's just going to be nice. Some really, really good, top class rugby from a neutral standpoint. And it'll be nice to actually go watch a team that plays well, as opposed to week in, week out getting battered.
In great company as well, mate. In great company as well.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to that with all the guys and girls. It's going to be outstanding. Alan Walsh, will the Wigan walk still count towards the attendance at half time? Good man, Adam. Well done. Craig's not happy there, I don't think. Carl Shaw having a drink. Good evening to Carl. Carl, all the very best to you. He's by himself in his caravan. You're not, mate. You're with the Super League Raw community, my friend. Don't you worry about that. You enjoy the evening with us, my mate. Right, boys, let's just stay on those first two games. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to have to try and enlarge this a little bit. Can I do it by doing that? They asked me, but there you go. Oh, can't do that. Right, I need to suss out here how we get that a bit bigger. Right, not everybody's going to be on, so I do apologise. But yeah, so what I'll do, let me do apologise to a couple of the boys here. I'm just going to randomly get rid of a couple. Bring in, there they are. Bring in the lads. Right, Bazza and Craig. These were the stats from those games, round 7 and 22. The thing that really amazed me when I put this together, and you'll have probably forgotten this now, there's that much water under the bridge, is completion rates. Look at the completion rates and the way in which the games went. In game one, KR were well down in the 70s there. And then in game two, it was Wigan who had a poor completion rate at the Brick community. And I think that really, again, game management, ball retention, that's going to be massive tomorrow, isn't it?
It is, and I think that could potentially be where the game's won and lost. But looking at the stats and completion rate, I think OKR was guilty of a lot of missed tackles in that first game against Wigan at Craven Park. I think there was like 55 missed tackles. I'm sorry, I'm on my phone. I can't quite see it on the screen here. But no, tomorrow, completion and patience is going to be key to the outcome of the game tomorrow. And whatever side ices the chances. Like you say, we played the game correctly at the Brick. We completed we tackled well, and there weren't many errors. But rewind to round 6 at Craven Park, it was just the total opposite. Like you say, terrible tackle efficiency, so many missed tackles, and we just went away from our normal game plan against Wigan. So I think that's going to be a key area tomorrow. What I do think we do have to clean up, and we need to be on our game, because towards the end of the season, I know it counts for nothing in a one-off game, but towards the end of the season, we started leaking points, and our defence, we started leaking quite a few points in our defence. Our tackling wasn't great, so I think Saints game, what we've just had, we fixed a lot of that up, but again, it's still not enough to get over the line against this Wigan side. So we definitely need to up our completion rate and our game smarts, our game management for me.
Yeah, I mean, Craig, you heard me say to Bazza in game 2, I felt that KR should have won that a lot more comfortably than they did. They just did not take advantage of their opportunities in that game as much as they should have done. And I think the fact that, when you look at the completion rate there, 93 to 78, but KR only won by 4. When you look at the first game and you see an 87 to 76, you sort of think, yeah, okay, I sort of get that. And of course, a bit better in meters. So that for you must give you a lot of confidence in the fact that even though you were well beaten statistically and with the eyes, I felt at the brick, you hung in there, and KR couldn't do to you what they've done to so many teams, which was to really give you a bloody nose, mate.
It was Wigan's defence in the last probably since that game actually has really improved, and it's sometimes look at the League game last week. Lee was dominating that game. Wigan had no business going into that half time in the front, and probably had no business going at full time in front. But it was our defence that managed to hold on. The completion rate obviously is an issue because we dropped off and there was an awful lot of errors. But of course, Wigan's defence this time of the year comes good. I think KR is the last time that Wigan conceded double digits in points, and the last time we conceded 2 tries was against Warrington. So other than that, it's like Wigan's defence has really picked up, and I think that will be key for us, and we've got to make sure that we can complete and do higher if we're going to compete with KR.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Again, those stats, Joel, they really do highlight how close these two sides actually are. There's not an awful lot in it either way, is there? There
isn't, and that's reflective of what it does stand out, and it really does stand out is two little points there. KR have really got to keep hold of the ball in their hands. They've got to have the ball in their hands when Wigan do. I know that should go without saying in rugby league. The reason why I say that is because when you look at the completion rates as opposed to the possession that they have, there's more errors being made, and that is the number one thing that KR on is making sure that when they do, even if they don't come fully, at least don't create these bad errors in bad positions. Your error count wants to be at 0 in a grand final. That's how you're going to win it. But also, the second we're going to have the ball in their hands, it's dangerous. There's not many teams on the planet that can stop them. We've seen them when they played against Penrith and did that. So if KR can get the ball in the hands more completion rates, then I think we're going to see a much stronger Robins side than Wigan. But that's what we do the best. They know how to make spill the ball.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree with you more. Claire Webster's getting the first round in. She's ahead of schedule. Well done, Claire. Looking forward to your company tomorrow. Needless to say, that has come out of Bazza's back pocket. Majestical. Well done to you. Right, bringing back Greg and Steph. Let's take a look at the 2 men of the matches. And no surprise who they were. Went back and found this in the archives of my spreadsheets in terms of who we gave the man of the matches to in those 2 games. Game 1 at Craven Park, it was Bevan French. Game 2 at the Brick for his defensive work, if nothing else, was Jez Litton. Will not surprise you at all. I'll start with Bevan French, Greg, and then I'll go to Steph for Jez. No surprise that these are the 2 that won the respective Man of the Match awards. Bevan French has got a habit of turning up, hasn't he, against the Robins?
He does. He has a habit of turning up full stop, to be honest, Bevan French, when he's not injured. He was a difference in the grand final last year, that bit of brilliance. No surprise whatsoever. Bevan French is one of the best, if not the best import that we've had in this country in recent years, as far as Super League is concerned, as far as I'm concerned as well. He's an exciting player. His as I've said a lot of times, and here's one for the bingo sheet, his relationship with Field on the pitch is almost telepathic. They seem to know where each other are. Yeah, he's a game breaker. He's a genuine great game breaker.
He is indeed, and same with Jez Litton, Stef. Incredible season. Player of the year at Hull KR, and rightly so. I think over the course of the season, our favourite to get the 9 shirt at the Ashes, but of course that's up for grabs with some of the other people that potentially could be playing for England. So we'll hold our breath on that one. But Jez Litton in this game, if you remember, Steph, his defensive work was just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was. And I think a lot of people will be going for the matchup of Bevan versus Mikey. I think it's right that we're highlighting these two. Jez has been outstanding this season. And if Hull KR are going to win, they need Jez Litton to perform like we all know he can. And the reason he's got the Player of the Year at KR this season. Obviously, if Mikey has a good game as well, then that to me swings the balance in KR's favour for the final. But there's no doubt about it, that whole KR team ticks because of what Jez Litton does and the platform he builds in attack, but also the work rate in defence. He's the perfect, he's a captain for me. He leads by example. He's that person where you look to him and he'll go, he's going to do the work, and that inspires your other teammates to do it around him. So if Jez can really, if he can up his game in this, I think KR are going to win. But even if he just performs to his high standards he has this season, that's going to inspire the rest of this KR team and hopefully give Mikey a bit more time as well to do what he does best.
Yeah, absolutely. Big handful, Jez Litton. He's had an incredible season. No surprises that those were the two best players on the park in round 7 and round 22 when these have met in the 2025 season. Right, let's get into this little beauty, a newish graphic for this grand final. Again, I'm just going to randomly take a few away here just so that we can make this look a little bit more prettier for the people that are watching this one at home and make it a little bit larger. So there you go. I'll bring the lads back in on this, Bazza and Craig. Just go through, obviously, these are the differences, key areas, key KPIs, and who holds the advantage. I'll start with you, Bazza. I mean, it looks pretty good that from a KR perspective. Clean breaks, 33 more than Wigan this season. You made over 3,000 metres more than Wigan this season. Dummy half, 101 more runs. That's a bit telling. We'll get to that when we get to the hookers a little bit later on in the show. And then, of course, the only real things other than yellow cards and reds that you win, but errors, penalties, go the way of Wigan and handsomely so as well. So from a KR perspective, you might not have been aware of those swings, Bazza, but that's not bad.
No, it's not, and it makes for very interesting reading. And I think a lot of them dummy runs come from a very fast ruck, and we feel like from a Rovers perspective, when we've got Liam Moore in the middle, we feel like the ruck is a little bit quicker, which always helps. Like Jez Litton. And even when Mikey Lewis jumps in at dummy half, and as daft as it sounds, having a dry track, we make them meters and we make them dummy runs, and a lot of it is through Jez Litton. And if the conditions are right and we've got a fast ruck, I think them stats are quite justified, and that's why I'm feeling quite comfortable about Saturday. I.e., for the likes of having Liam Moore in the middle and a dry track, I think we should see an expansive Hull KR side, which is going to make it incredible, especially for a Rovers fan as opposed to last year, because last year I felt like we went in our shell a little bit with the conditions and whatnot, and we just never seemed to get on the front foot. But it just shows how far we've come in 12 months for us to make more meters than arguably the best pack in Super League in Wigan Warriors with Luke Thompson and co up front, and Brad O'Neill and Cruz Lehman who are absolutely awesome hookers. I think that's testament to the work that Willie and the team's done with our squad. The clean breaks, a lot of them, I dare say, has come from Mikey, just being elusive with his off the cuff runs.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see Paul Fail in the chat. Let's give a few shout outs before we go to Craig. Paul over there in Vancouver. Shame you're not going to be with us. Yeah, you'll be missed, mate. You will be missed. Volstag's with us tonight. Carl Shaw, we've already given mention to. Rebecca Frey. Rebecca's really looking forward to tomorrow. Oh, yes, indeed. Greg Roach, he'll be there as well with us tomorrow. Congratulations to Volstag, of course, winning the competition today. Must say that. They'll be over to you a little bit late, mate. Don't panic. Don't be Mark Hill and panic. They will be on the way to you, mate. I've only got one pair of hands, despite the rumours. And yes, there is only 4 fingers and a thumb on each as well, despite the rumours. But yes, Keith Lambert, Sam Holt, Sammy Holt's going to be with us as well tomorrow. Good to see Sammy in the chat as well. Get your comments in as we're going through the chat. I'll go back to you, Craig. That's not a good graphic if you're a Wigan Warriors fan. The only one that matters is the scoreline tomorrow, of course. But hey, we've got to make a captain's run a show, mate. On the basis of that graphic, not great reading from a Wigan Warriors perspective.
No, it isn't. Obviously, we'll go with the tackle, bust and the tries, but it's, as I've been saying quite a few times on final whistle, we're going to have needed to sort the discipline out, and that's why we've given away so many penalties. We have been a bit penalty machines at the time. And this is not good reading for us. And we have had quite a lot of errors, like I say, during the league games. A few times we threw the ball away and it was bouncing behind us and missed passes and things. So we really need to sort this out. And it's a bit sobering, but at the same time, like I say, we've become a lot better over the last few weeks, and our defensive effort is really improved. And I think it was Stef said it. I don't know if it was on the social or if it was on Weekly last week. He said watching about slowing the ruck down, which Wigan did very well against Lee. So in order for us to make much of a difference, we are going to have to do that as much as possible, as much as the referee will allow us to slow the ruck down, and that'll obviously try and negate some of them more positives that Hull KR have got.
Absolutely, boys. Absolutely. Right, let's get into the squads. Here they come. There they are. We'll go through each individual position. But I think it's fair to say, Steph, that both of these two sides come into this as healthy as they could have hoped.
And I don't envisage much changes from the semi-final teams. I don't think anybody's got anybody particularly coming back. And I think everyone came out of it unscathed. I don't think there was any injury concerns for either teams or HIAs or anything like that. So, like I say, I fully expect the teams to be very, very similar to the 17s from the semi-finals.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big looming question at Hook at KR, but we'll get to that in a few moments' time. But yeah, very, very strong squads. We will be going by these now position by position in a few moments' time. But before we do that, well, let's start here. A bit of history making. We know we like to wrap the players, the gladiators of the field here at Super League Raw. We like to, make sure that people understand where they're up to in their careers. We're going to start with Tyrone May and JWH, who have the chance to join a very, very small group of men who have won a grand final on both sides of the world. That's Tyrone May was a substitute in the Pepper side that defeated South Sydney 14-12 in the 2021 grand final. And of course, Warrior Hargreaves started as prop in Sydney Roosters NRL grand final wins in 2013, 2018 and 2019. So if they get the job done at the weekend, they go into a very, very exclusive group of players. We've also got an opportunity here in terms of who could potentially be the oldest player ever to play in the Super League Grand Final. If Mickey McAloran makes it, he will get that distinction, 37 years, 274 days old. If he doesn't play, and JWH does, then he will get that distinction at 36 years, 264 days old. So there you go. That's an interesting one. Just out of curiosity, does anybody know who was the last player to win a Super League title and join that club of men that had won Down Under and also won in Super League? He was the last player to do that. Does anybody know that? A little bit of trivia. Get in the chat. Do you know who that player is? Bazza, you're top of the screen under me, so I'll start with you. I know you'll thank me for that. Any idea who it is?
Do you want to give us a clue? Is he an Englishman?
No. He's not an Englishman. No, that's the only clue you get.
Thomas Lolawai?
No, it wasn't Thomas Lolawai. Craig?
Did they go to Super League then NRL?
No, NRL then Super League.
Right.
Is it Jamie Lyon?
It's not Jamie Lyon. No,
Was
no,
it
it's
Bell?
not Jamie. No, it's not Jamie Lyon. Steph, any ideas?
I'm struggling.
You're struggling. Greg, any ideas?
I was going to say Adrian Morley, but if it's Australia,
No.
it's not Pat Richards, is it?
No. Joel? Any
I'll be
ideas?
honest, I was thinking Adrian Morley.
Adam
I was thinking
Adam
Adrian Morley.
Walsh has got it, mate. It's Lachlan Coke because he
It's-
did it for St Helens and the Queensland.
No, it's not. No, it's not Lachlan Coote either.
Oh.
That's
Wow.
incorrect. It's incorrect. The last player to do it was Will Hopewati for St Helens in 2022. He won it with Manly in 2011. So a bit of trivia for you boys. You know, I like to keep you abreast of it. Look at the nod of respect there from Mr. Sale. Loves the research done. Good man. Well done. Right, okie dokie. What else have we got in here that's worth doing? Oh, that's a bad one. Bazza, turn away now. Joe Burgess. You know, if he was to lose at the weekend, yeah, he would join the ranks of those who have lost the most grand finals. It would be his 5th loss at Old Trafford.
Blimey, Warrington haven't lost that many.
No, I know. 5. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so there you go. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable that, to be fair. But in more positive news for KR, Mikey Lewis will make his 150th career appearance at the grand final this Saturday. So there you go. Right, we then move over to the Wigan Warriors. Liam Farrell, Bevan French and Jake Wardle have the chance to join the ranks of players who have won the most Man of the Match awards with 2, should they win. All of them have got it. Farrell won the Harry Sunderland in the 2016 final against Warrington. French, of course, won it last year. Jake Wardle won it in 2023. I have to say, Harry Smith should have won that. That was an absolute outrage that Jake Wardle got that in 23, but we'll just leave that there. But yeah, nice, Craig. Nice if one of those boys was to pick it up for a second time.
It would be. I've got a feeling the way that they're going at the minute, it could probably be Fields' night to win it if Wigan, of course, win the game. But it's a great opportunity for them 3 players to really make the mark on the bit of history. And of course, if Bevan French wins, after 2 years, he'll be the only player to win the Rob Burrow Award.
Yeah. And imagine French going back to back. Yeah, that'd be an interesting one. Here's one for you. Who was the last player to win the Harry Sunderland Award, having played for the losing side?
Stefan Ratchford.
Whoa, Reggie, straight out. Well done, mate. Good lad. Spot on against Wigan. Well done. And I've been disappointed.
It's the only thing we've won.
Indeed. So there you go. Oldest player to have ever won the Harry Sunderland was James Roby in 2020 against Wigan, 35 years old. So again, some players could take that distinction from him this weekend, potentially. Don't think they will, but you never know. Right, loads of real. I mean, not only to play a grand final, but to maybe from a Wigan perspective to be able to make a bit of personal history as well. So Jai Field will make his 100th Super League appearance at the grand final. Bevan French will make his 150th career appearance at the grand final. Should Liam Farrell score 2 tries, unlikely, but if he did, 150 for Wigan Warriors, that would take him to. And if Wigan were to dominate and Abbas Miski got a hat-trick, that will be his 100th in his career. So there you go, boys. Hey, bit of trivia, bit of statistics for you. Happy days. Right, okay. Before we go into each position bit by bit, how important do we think that people's appearances in a grand final will play a part this weekend? Craig, I'll start with you because you take the advantage on this one. 42 grand final appearances will walk out onto the field for the Wigan Warriors this Saturday, with the man pictured there, Mr. Farrell, top of the shops. An incredible career, Liam Farrell. This is his 9th. Well, he's been out there 9 times. This will be his 10th. Incredible.
It really is. Obviously, Wigan's got a lot of experience in there, but there's a lot of the KR players now. They've got a lot of experience as well with the background, and with Wembley, that'll obviously calm them a bit more. But obviously, Wigan are used to going to this game. Certainly, Liam Farrell, I think he's up there now with one of the most attendance appearances, I believe, at the grand final. But again, I think with KR's experience this year, they're not going to be up for the big game, so we'll have the experience of going to the grand final, have a benefit. Probably not this time round. I think KR is going to be well experienced and well up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bazza, going to yours. I mean, you've only got 3 players that have been in the grand final more than once: Tyrone May, Oliver Gildart, and of course Joe Burgess. Gildart is running at a 50% win ratio currently. Would you expect Gildart to start?
It's a tricky one because we've give big raps to Jack Broadbent all year, and I feel like Ollie Gildart's sort of working his way back into the team. You know, his performances are improving week on week. It's a tough one for Ollie because he got dropped last year when he was fit for Jack Broadbent, but Willie Peters knows his squad and knows what he trusts. So on that basis, I would expect Ollie Gildart to start. Unfortunate for Jack Broadbent.
Well, we'll come back to that in a mo. But yeah, I think you're probably right. But Stef, I mean, 42-21, that is a big advantage, isn't it, in terms of personnel walking out onto the field?
It's massive. And just to go what Bazza was saying there, do you think there might be a bit of redemption for Gildart because he missed out last year? Do you think he might be wanting to even it up a little bit with Broadbent? And could that decision cost Willie? Because I think if it was me picking the team, I would go. Sentiment goes out the window, and I think Jack Broadbent is the better centre at the moment over the two. So it's going to be very interesting if he does go with that. Because and they don't get the win, that could get used against Willie in terms of that team selection. Do you think?
Is that to me, Steph?
It's to everyone.
Well, personally, from a KR perspective, no, I don't think it will go against Willie because Gildart got dropped last year for Jack Broadbent, and we didn't come on the right side of the results. So if it's the same this year, we're on the wrong end of the result with Ollie Gildart in and Jack Broadbent missing, then it's pretty much the same as last year, just with a different centre. I do feel over the years, Steph, Jack Broadbent has thoroughly deserved his place in the side, but again, we don't see how the boys are training, and how well they're coming up. Jack's played a lot of minutes this year, so I think the advantage is to Ollie Gildart because he will be slightly fresher, and he also has that chemistry, that connection with his best mate Budgie. So I think that's what may sway Willie to give Ollie Gildart the nod over Jack.
I mean, Greg, I agree with Steph. I mean, for me, I just can't see how you can't play Broadbent the season he's had. What's your take, Greg?
I think it depends on how fit Artemore is. I think, as Baz says, I think he may well go with Gildart and put Broadbent on the bench because, it looks like they're going to pick Morg at fullback, but if he's not fully fit, if he's not 100% fit, I think they may well put Broadbent on the bench as an option if Morg breaks down. He's filled in a lot of positions. I think that's probably, he's a bit like Stefan Ratchford in that respect, in that Broadbent is he can play a lot of positions in the back line and in second row. So I don't want to second guess anyone here, but I wouldn't be surprised if he starts with Gildart and has Broadbent on the bench.
Well, we'll get to that as well as we go through the squads in a minute. But Joel, we have to take Greg's point a stage further there. We have seen grand finals where key players, halfback in particular, have fallen injured in a game, and we saw the effects of that as well in the when Saints lost Benison at the weekend. The impact that had, how that disjointed them. So if Broadbent on the bench is not a bad shout, the problem is if Mickey Mack's back, I think that means he's eliminated from the team. What's your thoughts?
That's the worry, actually, because I definitely bench, and that's the one reason alone is such a player. So you need him in a few days, is the man who does the job for you. Though I always stick by it. Hear this a lot, especially this season. You have problems. You keep the same spine. You've got a winning formula for the team. You don't change out what's working broken. He's such an immense player. With the team longer this year, you want players who's played with everyone the longest time. They've made the most of the teamwork. They've played more together, and they know things inside out. Craig said about Bevan and they always know where each other are on the field. That's the same for players who played with each other all season long. And another thing as well is in the grand final of this success. So whether he's starting player or bench, he needs to be playing. That's for certain. And the great thing with Jack is, I know, is he can play in a number of positions. So I think for Willie, it'd be very. I'm not going to say daft, but I think it would not at least put him on the bench in the worst case scenario.
For me, it's his biggest decision in terms of Jack Broadbent. I agree with the sentiments that everybody said, and I think the biggest. I'll finish with Craig. I mean, obviously, Craig, you've got your cherry and white glasses on where Gildart's concerned, but as a Wigan fan, would you be more frightened of Broadbent, or would you be more frightened of Gildart at the weekend?
I think I've been more frightened of Broadbent. Nothing against Ollie Gildart. He got man of the match last week, probably because he got the 2 tries. But Broadbent he's played so well throughout the season, and he's deserved it, and he deserves to have his shot. Gildart has missed an awful lot of the season through injury, and I just think that as Joel said, as other people have said, you have this working together, you get this working partnership. So I would be more scared of Broadbent. I think he's a bit quicker as well, and he's got that utility. He can move around, so he could cover anywhere just at a moment's notice. So I'd be more worried about having Broadbent on the pitch than I would having Ollie Gildart.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It really is. Right, let's have a bit of fun. We'll go through the positions. I've gone with who I think the starting lineup's going to be. I agree with Stef. I don't think they'll be very different to what we saw in the semi-finals. But we'll have a chat in each individual position, and we'll try and decide who's got the advantage in that position just for a bit of fun. Starting, of course, at fullback. And 2 great fullbacks, no doubt about it, Arthur Morg and Jai Field. In terms of the season, you can see there, I mean, look, there's no doubt about it. Those stats, as well as Arthur Morg has played this year, and of course, goal kicking stats aren't on there. Field doesn't kick, but we know that Arthur brings that to the KR game as well. Albeit, Reece Martin, if he's on the bench and on the field, he rival him for that distinction. But for me, that graphic, I'll start with you again, Craig. It just goes to show the great year that Field has had to have those stats against another really good player in Arthur Morg shows why Field was chosen for the dream team this year.
Yeah, definitely. I've said numerous times, Field has been the reason Wigan's had the success that it's had this year and been as competitive as it has. Field has been our star player. He's been absolutely brilliant. He's just, again, his tries, his assists, his telepathy with Bevan French, his ability to get meters out. He's just been everything that we've needed him to be, and he's like I say, you feel confident with him. And I just think he has been absolutely fantastic. Arthur Morg, I mean, he's got an head like granite on the amount of hard tackles he's had, and he's managed to just get up and where most people are getting stretched off. But and I think that he's been absolutely brilliant. But for me, just with me cherry and white glasses on, I think Field's just been that extra X factor for Wigan this year. He's really come back to found his form, and he's just been brilliant for us, and he's been the reason we are where we are.
Greg, as a neutral, you and me have always liked Arthur Morg, right from his early inception at Cal.
Yeah.
We've talked about him for 4 years. There's no doubt about it that Morg on his day can be a surprise Harry Sunderland winner. Rob Burrow Trophy winner now in 2025.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. He suffered a little bit because Tompkins was at the Catalan Dragons, and he didn't get the game time. I think it was still a surprise that he moved to Hull KR, but what a masterstroke from Willie Peters to bring him in. An absolute masterstroke, a fantastic player. Probably when Jay Field kind of leaves Super League, he's the heir to his crown as probably the best fullback in Super League. His kicking is superlative. He's a mercurial player, and when you look at the errors there and you look at the meters, Jay Field's made more errors, but when you look at the carries, the meters, they're very similar between the two players. I like Carter Morg. I think he's a class act. I think he's one of the best players in Super League.
Yeah, absolutely. Bazza, I'll bring you in on this one. Let's have a little game. If we were playing Championship Manager going into this grand final, who gets the number 1 shirt? Bazza, Morg, or Field?
Well, it's a tricky one. Like when you go through the sides, if we didn't have another goal kicker, it'd have to be Artemog. But based on them stats, there really is not a lot between them. Jarfield seems to back his game up year after year. I think so far this is Artemog's best year in his playing career. That's only in my opinion. You know, it went well for Catalan. Out of the two, I know there's KR fans watching this. I'm gonna have to stick with Morg, and that's purely because he's got his kicking game in his locker, so it'd have to be Morg.
You can hear the tweeting of those robins. Can you just hear them in your ear? Wow. Steph, you would completely disagree, I'm sure, with Mr. Kingston.
You said it's close. Well, it is for errors, carries, and meters. But apart from that, the top 4, Jarfield completely blows away. Double tries, double assists, nearly double busts, double breaks, and they're the ones that actually matter. To the team, it's no competition for me. Jarfield is the best fullback in the competition at the moment, and anybody who doesn't put him at number 1, I'm either looking at or they're a Robins fan.
Joel, I know that you're good mates with Bazza, but do you think he's lost the plot with that one? Are you going Field or are you going Morg?
Yeah, I think you've got to go Field. You know, all the main stats that you want from do sway into heavily. So yeah, I'll be picking Field on this one.
Yeah, and Greg?
Pick Morg at fullback and put Field at 6. No, J Field all day long.
Has to be, mate. Has to be.
Sorry, Baz.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's no reason to be sorry. It just is what it is. I mean, look, I wouldn't mind. Baz was going on the coach tomorrow. I could understand that, but he's not. He's not. He's driving down. He's spending the day with friends, and he's still coming up with nonsense like that. Anyway, you are entitled to your opinion, Bazza. I love your loyalty, mate. I love your loyalty, but on this particular occasion, put the glass down is what I would say. Put the glass down. But no, I'm sure you. But I probably will agree with some other Robins ones as we go through the chat, mate. Right, so there you go. Yeah, brilliant this season, Jarfield. But look, both of these have scored some wonderful tries as well. I think we'd all agree that these two players tomorrow, they do play the arch really well on both sides. They can pop up left, they can pop up right. When they're on, they're on. Really, really good indeed. Of course, Jill, here comes our Jill. Jill, she's arrived safely. She can't wait to come and see us all tomorrow. Jill, looking forward to meeting you too, all the way from Canada. Outstanding. Well done, Jill. Right, okay, let's get into the wingers. Here they come. Interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Basil, I'll start with you. Start with Craig last time. It's 4 brilliant wingers. People will be surprised, perhaps. I know that Dawn Baker in the chat said that who would we pick, Eckersley or Miskey? I'll be honest, I pick Eckersley, but I expect Miskey, don't you, Baz?
Yeah, he's got that big game experience. Don't get me wrong. Eckersley, he's never let anybody down for Wigan, and he's got that pace. But I feel like the two, Miskey is definitely tougher. And he runs like a bloody second rower, does Abbas Miskey. But I don't know. Are you going into which wingers I'll pick out?
Let's Mr. Kingston. Let's not rush. You know, let's take a breath, sir. Take a breath.
Yeah.
But I would expect. I think he's going to go the way of Miskey. No doubt. Steph, you were surprised. Dream Team, Marshall got it, and of course these two on the opposite side were 2 players that you cited for that surprise. When you actually see the stats like that side by side, just for clarity as well, when there's 4 players on the graphic, the numbers go in the order of the pictures. So so it's Davis, then Burgess, then Miskey, then Marshall. That's how the numbers are on the field. But Steph, like I say, 4 brilliant wingers, and actually Miskey, when you consider he's played half the games of Burgess as an example, you double his stats on the games that he has played. They're up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is where I'm going to have my Hulk AR glasses on with this one. Baz will be pleased to know. For me, I'd have Davis and Burgess over both Marshall and Miskey. I think, Marshall's made the dream team again. But you look at the most important stat there, Davis and Burgess have both scored more tries than Marshall this year. Despite, Burgess playing 6 less games. So for me, this isn't even a contest. It's Burgess and Davis all day. I think they're the two best wingers in the comp at the moment.
Right to reply, Mr. Forth, as a Wigan fan?
Do you know what? I can already sense and feel the daggers coming from all the Wigan fans. But if I was going to pick for the wingers, then yeah, you've got to be looking at Davis and Burgess. Nothing. I mean, obviously, Miskey again, double his games, double his stats. He's right up there, and he's probably I'd be one of the best. But when you look at the form and everything else, you've got to go Davis and Burgess. But then again, it is very close between Davis and Marshall when you look at some of the carries and meters.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very close. Obviously, all 4 of these players, Greg, know how to score a try. There's no doubt about it.
Certainly do.
Do you see? I mean, last year it was a piece of individual brilliance down the middle, and a lot of grand finals actually, a lot of tries do actually come down the middle a lot of the time. It tends to be a war of attrition. Some of the best tries we've seen in the history of the grand final have come from down the middle as well. But if they can get the ball out in space, all 4 of these will finish it off, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen of Wigan in past grand finals, and my imagination might be getting carried away here, but I think Wigan have probably scored most tries out wide than since the great Bradford side of the late 90s, early 2000s, with those giants on the wing and in the centres. I remember when we were 16-2 up in that grand final, they murdered us out wide.
Yeah.
So I think Wigan probably utilised their wings more than most teams do in grand finals. They didn't last year. It was a war of attrition last year. But this year, looking at those stats, I think the ex-Wigan players, I'd choose the ex-Wigan players over the current Wigan players this time round. The stats just add up, and I agree with the guys. It's the 2 Hulk AR wingers over the 2 Wigan wingers.
Fair enough, Joel.
You'd be daft to pick the Wigan boys over the KR lads for this one. The biggest ones is you try and look at your busts and your breaks. The amount of breaks, that's massive. That for any winger, and that with the amount of meters made, that's quite a dangerous. If it was Marshall, of course, would have been well in within this, but unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. Tom and Joe make the cut for me for sure.
Bazza, you going with your boys?
Yeah, I'm going with my boys, but it is very close with having Liam Marshall out on that left wing, because he had a slow start to the year, but he has come good, and then he does know how to score against OKR. But overall, I've got to stick with my boys. But the irony is they're both ex-Wigan boys, so. And yet everybody seems to be going for him now over the current Wigan wingers, which is interesting. But no, Joe Burgess, is outstanding. He's got an error in him now and again, as we saw in the Challenge Cup final. But I've got to stick with my boys and hopefully not get no pelters for it this time.
Well, there you jolly well go. Like I say, if these boys get the opportunity on the wings tomorrow, we're in for a treat. They all know how to finish. But what we have established, and I have to say, I'm going to have to go and get myself another scotch to get over this one. I'm daft. Clearly, I'm daft. Joel's called me daft. I'm daft. I can't believe I'm going to be daft, but I am going to be daft. Liam Marshall and Tom Burgess for me. I'm sorry. People might turn the nose up at that. But Liam Marshall for me, 24 try interventions there, 15 and 9. He outdoes him. More busts. And what Liam Marshall does do incredibly well, some will say it's dark arts, Mr. Nixon. By God, does he win Wigan penalties in their own 20.
Oh, he doesn't. But Burgess scores tries without getting the ball over the line. So, he's swings and roundabouts.
That's why he's in. That's why he's in. He's a very talented boy, is Mr. Burgess. That's exactly why he's in. He can pull rabbits out of hats, can Tom Burgess.
Sorry, Bazza.
Yeah. Joe Burgess as well. But no, great. Look, I put Liam in, and I would genuinely. I think Davis has been outstanding, but the key stats there, he's been in more tries than Davis, more busts, one less break, less errors. Liam Marshall. For me, it's Marshall. Has to be Marshall. But Joe Burgess gets me other one. So I'm out on my own, and I'm daft. That's what we've established. I'm daft.
All opinions, Dave. It's all opinions.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I used to respect Joel's, but anyway. Only joking, big fella. Can't wait for me cuddle tomorrow. Get a lovely cuddle off Joel tomorrow. Can't wait. Right, let's get into the centres, boys. Let's get into the centres. This is a juicy one and all. And as you can see, I put Gildart in there for the pure reason I do think Gildart plays tomorrow. I feel so much for Broadbent. I really do. And I'll tell you what, if Broadbent misses out of the 17, what a real test. And maybe we'll discuss that later when we get to the benches. But if he was to miss out on the 17, that's going to be a massive test of character for Jack Broadbent. Because as Greg said earlier, I mean, Jack Broadbent's been outstanding all year. But anyway, there they are. And it's really, really interesting to talk. But look, I'll start with Gildart, Basil, with you. When you consider he's played 13 games and scored 9 tries, you know, that is phenomenal. When you consider the try scoring of the rest, of course, one of the most at 15. But, you know, pound for pound, Gildart is actually more potent than the other 3 on games played.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people are missing. And a lot of people are missing the start Ollie Gildart had to 2025. It was absolutely phenomenal, where to the point where people were speaking of him potentially getting an England call-up if he carried on that form throughout the year. Unfortunately, picked up that injury, but you can see the determination in his face when he scored them tries against St Helens. The lad, I feel like he's got a point to prove. And like you said, 9 tries, 13 appearances. That's quite a healthy return, especially for a centre when a lot of your tries come from your wingers. So again, Peterico has been reliable for us, but again, on appearances to tries, 27 appearances for Petter and 7 tries, whereas, you know, Ollie's played half the games and scored 2 more tries. It's all about defence, though, for me, with our centres. And I do feel like Jack Broadbent is the better defender out of him and Ollie Gildart. But, yeah, they say defence wins games. So I do see Ollie Gildart making the starting lineup on Saturday. And to be honest with you, I don't know, I might get a bit of grief, but I can't see Jack Broadbent getting in the 17. I think Jack Broadbent's going to be 18th man.
Wow, you heard it there. Like I say, we'll come back to that, I'm sure. I mean, look, Craig, you know, your most potent is clearly Wardle. There's a lot of people said that Wardle deserved to be in the dream team this year. I didn't, personally. I think he's been steady, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's had a bad season. But you know, did you see him as a top 2 centre in 2025?
I think there's been some great centres. I mean, like Peterico, he's had a fantastic season. Just look at them stats from 27 appearances, the assists, the busts, the breaks, everything. He's been absolutely phenomenal. Adam Kieran, he's been brilliant for us as well. But it goes back to what Baz said about defence winning games. So for me, you've got to look at the defensive effort from both Wardle and from Kieran, and it just dwarfs. It just dwarfs Hiku on that one for the tackles made, and it's difficult one to say, but he's not been as good as he has been in previous years, I don't think, as Wardle. So top 2 this year, maybe not. But looking for these 4, if I was going to be picking centres, I'd probably be looking at the Wigan centres.
So you're picking the Wigan centres for your next team?
Yeah.
Wow. Joel, Adam Kieran over Peter Hiku, mate. Over to you.
For me, not a chance. It has to be Hiku and Wardle. There's some stats. Because remember, we're talking about centres here. Meters made to absolutely destroys everyone out of them. You also look at the carries. That's the type of out in centre. And all it takes is for him to, you can see it there in 14 assists. All he's got to carry on doing what he's done all year, pass it out to his edge, and Hiku does that extremely well. I just do not see anybody else other than Hiku. Just by watching them, and then you add in the stats again, centre positions. That to me is means more than anything.
Yeah,
it's not so much tries. It's not so much of an issue because your centres can set up your wingers tries all day long. But there's nothing with that either. So yeah, for me, Hiku.
Yeah. Greg, I mean, look, Hiku this year for me, he's not been as flamboyant as 24. He's been steady. He's been very, very professional for me, Pet Hiku, this year. I remember last year he scored some wonderful tries, where he was really on song. This year he's been great. He's been great. Don't get me wrong, he's been great, but not as flamboyant for me. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think probably he had a bit of a dodgy start, didn't he? At Hull KR when they played him at fullback.
It's a long time ago.
It is a long time ago. He had a dodgy start, played him at fullback, gave him the kicking duties. He probably had him a lot more to prove last season than he has this. He's got the players around him now. He's got. I think Hiku is class. He was class when he was at Warrington in 2017. Everyone could see the class that he had. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep him. We could have gone on to great things if we managed to keep him, I think. He's a great player. For me, Adam Kieran's got the goal-kicking responsibilities, which obviously puts him up there. I'm a massive fan of Wardle. Again, at Warrington, we saw his class a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I think, as I've said, I think Gildart will play. I think McAlorum will miss out and Broadbent will be on the bench. I don't think they will go with McAlorum. I think it's too much of a risk. For me, it's got to be Wardle and Hiku.
It's got to be Wardle and Hiku.
Yeah.
And Steph, your thoughts on these centres?
Yeah, well, it was Bradley's turn on the fullback. It's Craig's turn on the centre. There's no way in the memory of man that it's Kieran and Wardle. In rugby league, modern rugby league, you need your one big powerful centre to do all your busts, your carries, your offloads. You need a finisher, and that's where, for me, Hiku absolutely dwarfs everybody in terms of his run meters and stuff like that. And his offloads, his assists. He has to get in that left position, and Wardle in the other position for his try scoring ability and what he brings to that. Two different types of centres, but if you're going to form a bit of a dream team, which is what we're doing here, if these two squads merge together, it's not even a contest. It's Hiku and Wardle.
Craig, not since the last time we saw video reffing at the Brick Community Stadium have we heard cries of "You don't know what you're doing." By all means, come back, mate. Come back. Are you staying steadfast with Adam Kieran?
For me, Kieran, again, as Reggie mentioned too, it's his kicking duty as well coming on from there, and obviously he does quite a lot better in the tackles. But when you actually look at it, then probably Hiku. Actually, Wardle and Hiku for me, to be honest.
Oh, he's changed. That's shocking.
Stand your ground, man.
That is unbelievable. That is terrible. Oh, no way. Craig, no. What's going on? You can't do that. That's shocking. Oh, dear.
Oh, you are Liam Moore and I claim my
Dear me. That is, Craig, mate. Wow. Simply wow. Bazza, are you going Hiku and Wardle?
Yeah, all day long. What would be interesting though, if Broadbent stats was up there alongside Peterico's, to make it a little bit more of a contest, maybe it could be Peterico and Jack Broadbent based on stats. But the game's not played and won on stats. But as we're looking at it, it's got to be Peterico and Jake Wardle for me.
Just to you two lads. I mean, look, we're getting into the engine room there. We're getting into prominent positions. These four players who I expect to start on Saturday will have a massive, massive part to play in the game, both defensively and in attack. We see that every week. When your centres in your second row are really vitally important. If you had to pick one of these to be the game breaker, who would it be, Baz?
To break the game at Petrico.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Craig?
I'm gonna stick with Wardle.
Are you sure, Craig?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Wardle.
You're really sure?
100% Wardle.
Okay, fair enough. We'll go with that. I expected nothing less from both of you. It's going to be fascinating. 4 brilliant players. Right, let's move the chat on to the halfbacks. Now, incredible. I mean, and again, the perfect pairings. I'd say that straight away. They complement each other really well, these two. They really, really do. So there they are. There's your stats to go at. And of course, you know, you in the same way we said about Gildart, you know, Bevan French there, he's 4 games back on May, 5 games back on Mikey Lewis. He's punched. The big surprise, Craig, when I put this together was his run meters. I know he's played only 20 games, but I'd have expected him to be over 2,000. He's obviously, he doesn't appear to have run anywhere near as much as he did last year.
No, he doesn't. I think he's been a bit more creative at times when he's coming, because I know he's taken over from Smith and Kicking a few more times as well this season, which does surprise me a little bit with it. And again, but we have to look at, like, say, the 20 appearances, you know, is less than all the others. And you looking at the rest of his stats, he's not really that far off everyone else, is he? In that sense, I mean, the halfbacks for both these two are just brilliant, aren't they? This is where it's the cigarette paper between them to find out which one's better.
Yeah, I think for me, but I mean, look, Tyrone May, when we said it, I thought it was brilliant against St. Helens. He was outstanding in the Challenge Cup. Tyrone May has got the game to match Harry Smith. Spoiler alert there. I may as well say it straight away. My pairing, because I'm going to be faithful to scrum halves and standoffs, it's Bevan French and it's Harry Smith. That's who I'm picking. But in terms of May, on his day, he has got the game that could match Smith. But I think Smith's more consistent.
He is more consistent. And the good thing about Harry Smith, when his team's under the pump, he can kick the opposition to death. And have that rugby ball on a bit of string, you know. It can get the team Wigan side out of trouble when need be. But I think what a lot of those miss with Tyrone May is his defence. Because in my opinion, again, I'll more than happily take some pelters for it. But for Tyrone May, he has to be probably the best defending halfback in Super League currently, and his tackle ratio for Tyrone May, I don't think another halfback comes close to him. So it's what do you want? Do you want you know, the kicking game of Harry Smith or the tough defence of Tyrone May? And this is where it is a fine line. And Tyrone gets a fair bit of grief from a few KR fans, but I've always been a big fan of Tyrone, just the way he goes about his business, and he always turns up on the big occasion, believe it or not, like he did last year. Unfortunately, there was a try disallowed against Wigan, and we saw what he did at Wembley. So I think out the two, for the maturity as well and the toughness in defence, I'm picking Tyrone. As for Mikey, I love Mikey to bits. I really, really do, and he's got so many good years in front of him. But arguably, Bevan French is the best halfback in Super League, and I think Mikey's still a few years off that. So I think my halfback pairing are probably, and I feel awful for saying this because I love Mikey to bits, but I think I'd have to be with Bevan French and Tyrone May. There's just something about that with the toughness of Tyrone and the explosive attack from Bevan. I think it'd be wonderful to see.
Not wishing to influence the panel in any way, shape or form, Mr. Kingston, but just for your knowledge, Harry Smith has tackled more times this year than Tyrone May and has a better tackle efficiency.
Right, I'll get myself off then. It's been a pleasure, boys.
You've stole my thunder, Dave. I was just going to come in with a Kingston destroyer then, and you nicked it off me.
I couldn't wait to get it out. Oh, that's outstanding. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. You may as well go, Stef. I mean, great players. I mean, any of these 4 could win the Rob Borough.
Absolutely. There's not a lot between them, and I think this is probably the most even match comparisons that we're going to probably do all evening. But my point to Bazza would be who made 2 try-saving tackles in the semi-final against Lee.
Yeah.
It was Smith. You know, he
Well,
stopped 20
yeah.
twice he was there, you know, and for his game management more than anything, you know, we're talking grand final winners here, you know, and game management's going to be key in this match. You can't go past French and Smith. It's the ultimate halfback combination for a grand final.
No, I'll accept that. I just wanted a Rovers player in there, but
It's close. It's close. There's not much in these ones. It's very close. So I'm not going to give you too much grief, but apart from that Smith is a miles better tackler.
unless he's play acting, then we'll see what happens.
He wins that as well. He wins that as well, Smith. So you've got to put him in.
He was joking, Baz. But I always remember he was only joking. He was only joking. Let's not forget that. Is it? Greg, over to you, mate. Look, you've got. I mean, I just hope that we see the best version of Lewis and the. I mean, the kicking game, great. Yeah, you know, both of these, May and Smith can.
Yeah,
marshal the teams around the pitch. But what we want to see on the biggest stage is a bit of, dare I say, Rob Burrow magic. You know, Bevan last year. You want to see something like that. You want something that, as a neutral, makes you just sit back in your chair and go, "Oh yeah!" Like French last year, we were just, as neutral, we sat back going, "What a player!" We want Lewis and we want French to really sparkle tomorrow, don't we? In this final,
they are the 2 players that will provide that for us, French and Lewis.
Yeah,
but. We sat back and we watched that final last year and we both commented on this, that Harry Smith's kicking, it was like a chess game. And every time he kicked, he pinned Rovers further and further back in that first half and opened up the game for French to produce magic.
spot on.
He's very, very underrated, and he gets a lot of criticism, from Wigan fans. Now, Wigan fans have been spoiled in the past with some great halfbacks. I think he's very, very underrated. For me, I think Mikey Lewis has got that petulance in him that he needs to get rid of. I'm sorry, Bazza, but he has got this petulance in him. You know, we talk about Harry Smith's play acting. I think, for me, the best 2 halfbacks are the 2 Wigan halfbacks. I love Mikey Lewis when he's on form. Tyrone May, for me, is probably the one out of the 4 that, if I was given a choice, he would drop out. And that's just a personal choice, because Mikey Lewis, French, Smith, absolutely, you know, spot on. But for me, French and Smith are the 2 I would go with. For different reasons. Smith is the controlling halfback. Bevan French is the explosive halfback.
Mr. Scholes, how you would love to have these in the claret and gold. Which way are you going, Joel?
To have one of these, I'd take out 6 of my boys. So I'm going to disagree with all of you in a sense, but agree with you for the league to get to the grand final.
Yeah.
But come on, let's be honest. A grand final is a grand final. It's got to be the biggest spectacle of them all. You need to have the best players on the field. And, you know, you look at the NRL, it's not as defensive, it's far more attacking. And they just produce the best grand finals in the world. So for me, and I'm not going to let anyone change my mind, it will be Mikey Lewis and Bevan French. I know it's unconventional, but that's exactly how I'd have it. And hey, listen, you can laugh all you want, but I'll tell you something, that it'd be incredible. The ball would be flying around like a don't know what, and defenders won't have a chance.
Lewis can kick. He can control the game, to be fair.
Exactly. And that's my point. He could play at 7 and keep Bevan at 6. Look at attacking kicks. Mikey and Bevan. I know Harry Smith has more attacking kicks, but Mikey has good attacking kicks, and Bevan doesn't need to. But Mikey at 7, have Bevan at 6. Done deal.
Dave's daft. Now he's breaking rules. He's on form tonight, isn't he? He's on form. He's Arsh Goalsy tonight.
Do what I want.
You know what I mean? I'd be proper taking the mick out of him if I weren't with him tomorrow. Anyway, that's bad about. Craig, I presume you're going with your boys.
Yeah, I would be. If it was picking form at the beginning of the season, then it'd have been Lewis in there, but he has tapered off a bit. towards the season's gone on. So I would be going with French and Smith.
Fair enough. And people loving your comments, Joel. The passion there of the skulls coming through for Mikey Lewis. There you go. Well done. Last year's Man of Steel, 1 vote. Who'd have thought that? Unbelievable. But he is up against Bevan French. Let's move up to the hookers. And there he is. I've put him in the graphic. Greg might be right. I agree with Greg. For me, I mean, again, you look at his stats. I mean, all right, he gives them something defensively, but I have to say, I think Jez Litton's improved. I mean, Jez Litton's defence is as good as Mickey McIlroy's defence. And it is. And he can do 80 minutes. The problem is if McIlroy, I don't know what I'm saying, McIlroy falls down, steady on, Joe. But if he falls down, because he's clearly not 100%, that's a big gamble. It's a massive gamble. I think you can afford to play that gamble playing Warrington Wolves in the Challenge Cup final, because at the time Warrington, as they were all season, were there for the taking. I know that obviously it wasn't that straightforward in the end, but you could probably afford to do that playing a Warrington in a Challenge Cup. You need 17 as fully fit players as you can get at this time of the season on the field. Both teams need that to really press home any advantage. So if McIlroy plays, I unlike the Gildart one, this for me is a massive decision, because I think it would mean what Bazza said. Broadbent misses out at 17, and that could open a massive can of worms. Imagine if McIlroy went down after 10. Oh, dear me. Wow. I mean, all right, Jez would do the full 80, but you need your interchange fresh. It's a real head scratcher. Right. I'll start with Craig this time. Craig, you probably want McIlroy to start, do you?
From a Wigan perspective, yeah, McIlroy, if he can play 80 minutes, it'd be fantastic. Start him on the bench. But looking at this, I mean, straight up, there's not going to be no ifs, buts, or maybes from anybody. It's Jez Litton. He's there. He's just been phenomenal this year. I think how he's not in the Man of Steel contention is beyond me. He was fantastic. He was been KR's best player, certainly for at least half the season. He's been KR's best player. Well, Wigan again, we've got in Cruz Lehman, we have got he's a bit of a star maker as well. He can run from dummy half. He can create things. He can slip about into the halves himself. And Brad O'Neill is just such a strong defensive unit, which is why they play so well against each other. Whereas Jez Litton, he is the ultimate hooker. He can play 80 minutes, and he is Brad O'Neill and Cruz Lehman rolled into one. And for me, if I was going to be picking for the hookers, it would be Cruz Lehman picking that one, and then Jez Litton.
Steph, do us a favour. See what odds Jez Litton has got for Rob Burrow. I think this is a cracking bet. I don't know if it's in your Steph bet, but I think that'd be a cracking.
Spoiler alert.
Well, I've not looked at it. I've got to upload it in a minute when we get to that point.
He is. Sorry, carry on. I've got to get rid of something.
We talk about genuine contenders for the Rob Burrow. Jez Litton is that. No doubt about it. If you win this game tomorrow, he will be. I'm going to go as far to say
9-1. 9-1.
That's a great bet. 9-1 for Jez Litton, the way he's played this year. If you win this tomorrow, even if you don't, I'd say he's probably going to be one of the top 3 players on the park. But if you win it, he'll definitely be one of the top 3 players on the park, Pazza.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jez has come on leaps and bounds in the last 12 months. He's been the standout number 9 in the comp this year, and I don't think there's another recruit who's come close to Jez. He's been phenomenal, and it's not just what he does at hooker, it's his versatility if he needs to drop into the halves. He's a quality halfback as well when needed. He's got really, really good intelligent eyes at rugby, which we've missed. And I think Jez has said a lot in his interviews as of late. The one thing he's needed to improve on, because there's always been a good player there, was his consistency and not dropping out of games. And we're seeing Jez switched on for a full 80 this time round. And I think that if Mickey McIlroy's not playing, I think that's going to be absolutely crucial for Jez. Don't get me wrong, Cruz Lehman, he's rapid out of dummy half. And Brad O'Neill, again, Brad O'Neill is very much a young version of Mickey McAlorum. And if I had to pick two hookers out of the four what's on the screen right now, I would personally have Brad O'Neill starting and Jez Litton coming off the bench, and that's purely for the toughness from Brad O'Neill for the first half an hour, and then Jez to exploit the gaps later on in the game. And I personally think that's potentially what will happen in the Ashes, and I think that we're going to see both our hookers on Saturday night in them two.
Going to be a fascinating battle. Greg, you're going to go Jez Litton, I presume?
Jez Litton for me is first name on the Hull KR team sheet this weekend. Absolutely. First name on the team sheet. I've watched rugby league for a long time. I like teams that start with a controlling hooker and then bring an explosive hooker off the bench. But for me, I would go with Litton and Leeming.
Yeah. We're not doing a bench. We're not doing a bench. We haven't got time for that. So we've just got.
But I'd go Jez Litton on this one
all day.
All
Joel,
day.
Jez Litton.
You need a ball carrying hooker. Jez Litton all day long.
And Stef at 9-1. If he's not in bet, Stef, perhaps he should have been.
It is the most all round, and I agree with what Baz was saying in terms of go with a defensive hooker first. But Jez has proved all season he's one of the best defensive players in the league. So for me, it would be start with Litton with his defence and explosive plays, then bring Leeming off the bench with his explosive plays, and then bring Litton back on again. That'd be the way I go. You're not missing anything defensively from Jez Litton, but yeah, it's absolute easiest one of the night this in terms of selection. Jez Litton all day
long. And again, for me, of those four, the most likely if a number 9 is to win the Rob Burrow Trophy at the end of tomorrow night, it'll be Jez, no doubt about that at all. Right, we get into the props, and this is, do you know what? This is unbelievable. So you look at it, and I don't know about you, but when I put this together, it's much as a muchness, and it's not great. I just put it out there. I mean, it's when you consider what Walmsley and SA and Fire Tilly have done this year. You look at that and you go, okay. Your thoughts, Craig?
Yeah, just reading through the stats there and looking at it, JWH, I think his stats have been a bit better than I was probably anticipating them to be honest. He's actually, JWH's problem is a bit of a penalty machine. Yeah. His discipline is hence the reason why that nonsense high shot that was quite rightly overturned. It was a nothing, got him 3-match ban. I would have got him a 3-match ban. And that's something that when that we said he could play, I was actually quite glad because I thought that could actually help Wigan out a bit with if he's giving away penalties. So he's going to have to be on his literal best behaviour. But if I'm going to be picking props, then definitely you'd be looking at them stats, JWH, and then probably looking at Luke Thompson as well. Just so you got the two which we're looking at as a bit of powerhouse battle on the same side. Would be pretty interesting.
Would you put JWH in over Sue, Bazza?
Over Sue? No. Sue's been outstanding for the last couple of years. JWH brings so much to us, but it brings so much more to us off the field with his experience and his leadership behind closed doors. Again, when he's on the field, it does attract a lot of defenders, and it does create the holes by having 4 players commit to him to tackle him. But I think out of the two, I think it has to be Jesse Sue for me.
Jesse Sue, and are you going to Luke Thompson the other side?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Fair enough. Where are we going to go now? Greg?
I'm going to disagree with you, Bazza, again. Sorry, mate. I'm going JWH and Luke Thompson. Luke Thompson for his experience. JWH for the fear factor. Sue's a great, don't get me wrong, Sue's a great prop, a great forward, and does a lot of hard work. But for me, JWH has that fear factor, that grit, that experience as well. I wouldn't mind seeing what his odds are to get a yellow card in the first 20 minutes. But for me, JWH, Luke Thompson, that's a fearsome pair of props to face.
Fearsome, absolutely. I'd agree with that. Stef?
I've been really disappointed with JWH on field, if I'm being brutally honest. I get what Baz is saying about the off-field stuff, and it's not just about what you do on the field. And I'm not sure he's been a great addition for OKR. And he's probably taught some of the younger lads something more importantly as well. But in terms of his calibre and what he was coming with, his on-field has been average at best for me this season. I don't think he's anywhere close to the best props in Super League. I'm a huge fan of Sue. I think he's a superb player. He's an impact player. When he comes on, he makes a difference. He can score a try. He's missed 5 less games there than JWH, but he's still right up there with the tackles, the carries, the meters. So for me, I would be going with Jesse Sue, and then on the other side, Thompson. I think they're the 2 most all-round props out of these 2. Burns had a good season, but again, average for a Super League prop, towards the upper end of average. But yeah, for me, it's got to be Jesse Sue and Thompson.
Mr. Scholes.
See, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to disagree again, and only because of 2 factors. I'm going to go for both GWH and Sue, and that is just down to I've just been a bit underwhelmed with, like you say, the props at Wigan and some others. They've just not been as good. Sue is just outstanding, like Stef said. Absolutely deserves to be there, 100%. And the difference is JWH with busts. 36. That's out of them all. That's the most impressive. I know it's not the be all and end all, and I know that Thompson's made more meters, which is really important for a prop. I get that, but just for impact and for what they could possibly do, I'd go for the 2 Hull KR boys.
Yeah, people in the chat saying that Sue hasn't beat JWH on 1 start. Well, he's played 5 games less. So we've got to take that into account. It's not that much difference. I think Sue's probably he's a safer bet, isn't he? I think he's a safer bet, especially in a big game. In terms of temperament.
He's a better player.
Yeah, I like Sue. I think he's a very, very steady.
Jesse still scored more tries. Jared's only scored 1 try this year.
They're saying those stats are the wrong way around, Dave.
Yeah. Jared's only scored 1 this year against the left.
That'd be why. Yeah. That'd be why then. Yeah.
Sue's miles better than JWH stats-wise.
I've put him the wrong way around. When you consider how long this text, boys, you'll have to forgive me. But yeah, happy days. No dramas. Right, we move on to, I'll try better this time with the second row. Here we go.
I'll beat yourself up, mate.
Second rowers. Again, some talent there. I think Sam Walters starts. I think he'll leave December coming off the bench. I think he'll keep that. And I think he'll leave Walters in. Craig, would you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. He's doing that. I think has actually helped Nsemba a lot coming back in. He's become a bit like Paddy Mago. He's become an impact player, and Sam Walters he's doing a fantastic job when he's on the pitch. I definitely think Sam will start for Junior to come on later.
Yeah, I would think so. From your perspective, Bazza, Sam Walters has been a revelation this year. I think at Wigan, he's really come to the fore. Dare I say it, potential future international call-ups if he carries on in that vein. I think he's shocked a few this year as Sam. It's good. These are going to be very, very intriguing battles, aren't they? Between these, do you expect Hadley, now that JWH has been declared available, Hadley will start second row?
Yeah, Hadley will start second row. No doubt about it. And the thing I love about Hadley is his versatility. He'll do 80 minutes. He'll play a stint in second row, then he'll do a spell at prop. But going over to Sam Walters, I think we really saw Sam Walters really explode for Wigan, and that was against OKR when he actually played prop. So his versatility as well is invaluable for Wigan. I think this battle is going to be incredible. And then again, Liam Farrell is a veteran, but he knows how to win these games. He's got so much experience, and he really does lead that Wigan team round. I think it's going to be fascinating. I think James Batchelor this year has gone under the radar a little bit, and I think a lot of that's to do with him dropping in at centre for a short period of time. It's going to be intriguing. If I was to pick 2 players, I really like Sam Walters, so I'd have to go with Dean Hadley and Sam Walters for me.
Fair play, mate. Fair play. Craig, which way would you go?
Not me. Yeah, I'll probably go Farrell and Walters.
Farrell and Walters.
Yeah.
Oh. There you go.
Just keep him with Farrell because he's got the experience, he's got the level-headedness, and he's just been brilliant for us all year. To be fair, despite what some of the less supportive Wigan supporters have said about him this year, he's been absolutely brilliant. And so Sam Walters, as Baz said, since he's been on, he's got a versatility moving around, and he's just been absolutely brilliant. So for me, it'd be Walters and Farrell.
Fair enough. We'll start with Joel. Joel.
Farrell's been one of the greatest second rowers of this generation. You've got to bow down to him on that one. But he's not been as good this year than he has been in previous years, and that's just down to age. But Walters, on the other hand, is coming into he's not even nowhere near his prime, but he's coming into his better form of rugby, and we've really seen that this year. As Baz said, Batchelor's. It's been a shame for Batchelor because he's not necessarily been playing second row all season, but Hadley has, and he's really impressed. So for me, I can't believe I'm actually saying this. I'm leaving Farrell out, and I'm putting Hadley and Walters in there.
Fair play, Greg.
You can't leave Farrell out. The guy's class. This is a game that he excels in and has excelled in for many, many, many years. It's his 10th. Is it his 10th appearance?
Yeah.
He has got all the experience that you would wish for in your captain, in your second row, in the pack, in the middle of the park, running out wide, which is what he does best. Farrell has to be in there. Has to be in there for me. And I will go with Dean Hadley in there. I know Walters has had a great season, but I'm going with Farrell and Hadley in this one.
Fair enough. And Stef?
For a change, I completely agree with Reg. I think he's absolutely spot on. Can't say pretty much any more than that. But what I would say is probably for the second time, I would have thingy in me Walker in me second row.
Who in your second row?
The thingy, what's the Wigan player? You've got Walker. That's what's thrown me.
Oh, yeah. My apologies. I'm having a mare.
What's his bloody name? You've thrown me now.
Walters.
Yeah, I'd have Walters on my bench.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's fascinating. Some great contests on the edge. I'm just trying to remember. Which side's Farrell playing on at the moment? Is he on the right or on the left now?
Left.
He's still on the left. So he's going.
Doesn't matter what side he plays on.
Well, no, it doesn't. But that means he's coming up against Batchelor. Yeah, that'd be interesting. So Hadley against Hadley against Walters is interesting as well. Like I say, both defence and attack, vital positions. They all four of these have got massive performances.
I think what's important with these four as well, they've all got good solid engines where they will comfortably do 80 minutes, battering 10 bells out of each other.
Agreed. Fascinating. Right. I think probably a very straightforward pick this time. But that said, I've got to say Cade Ellis. Cade Ellis for me has had a great season. Really, really good. Baz, I'll start with you. I know you're going to go Elliot Minchella.
No, not necessarily. In 24, Elliot Minchella, hands down, who was arguably the best 13 in the competition in my dream team. I feel like he's dipped in form this year. Cade Ellis has been very much reliable, and didn't Ellis create that wonder try against Huddersfield mid-season? So I think over the course of the 27 rounds, I think out of the two, Cade Ellis has been the better player. So I'm actually going to go with Ellis on this one.
See that there, Craig? I tried my best to take him down a path, and he wasn't having any of it.
No.
Are you going to go Elliot Minchella, Craig?
Do you know Minchella's had a good season? He's had a fantastic season. Surprised that both tackle counts the same for both of them, to be honest. So it's up there, but looking at it, the carries, the meters. So I'm going to go Cade Ellis.
You're going Cade Ellis.
Going Cade Ellis.
People will be going on the official Super League site and maybe looking at this. I've actually included the semi-final. It took me ages to go for every player to add them, just so we had the accurate ones, including the semis. So anybody's looking, going, these are wrong. Just the wrong way round, but they're not wrong. Steph?
Yeah, funny you mentioned the semi-final. I thought Cade Ellis was exceptional against Lee, and he was not talked about at all. And I thought he had such a good game for Wigan. He's had a tremendous season. I agree with Bazza. I think Minchella has had a good season, but not to the standard of where he was last season. He's still been great, and he's still key for KR. But if I'm picking a team for the final, Cade Ellis would get the nod for me.
Fair play, fair play. Joe?
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. That's, Cade has been absolutely amazing. I'm going to be keeping an eye on Mitchell this year because it'll be interesting to see how he goes in such a massive, such a big part of the team. But Cade certainly has him on this one for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, so there you go. There you jolly well go. That's the ones. So
can I say who I think as well?
Oh, sorry, Greg. Yeah, of course you can, mate. Go
on. Minchella's a great player, but let's keep it brief. Cade Ellis has been superb this season, so for me, it's Ellis.
So I was in a rush to get to the combined team. So the combined team. I tell you what, don't think it get. Actually, you probably will get under cap. Actually, what a team! What a team! Field at fullback, Davis and Burgess on the wings, Hiku and Wardle. That's Hiku and Wardle. That's Hiku and Wardle at centre. Bevan French and Harry Smith in the halfback. Oh, you got to smile, haven't you? Jesse Sue and Luke Thompson would be the props with, of course, Jazz Little Hooker. Liam Fowle and Dean Hadley, a very experienced second row. And Cade Ellis at loose forward. Quite an even team, really, in terms of the spread of the players' boys, which again highlights why this is the right final. Let's just very quickly consider. Just need to change that. There you go. Who misses out? So I think I would expect. I think the Wigan one, of course, Cruz Leeming was on the 9 slide. Leeming's on the bench, so I would expect Wigan to go with exactly the same team that they put out against Lee. What I would say is, though, Tyler Dupree, this is a player that Wigan paid a fee for, and he's going to be on the bench at a grand final. I mean, rumours abound that he could be leaving Wigan, maybe not travelling too far. Craig, it is odd, isn't it? That he's just not kicked on, has he?
I don't know. I just don't know what it is with him. I'm quite a bit of a fan of his because when he's on form, like so when you look back at the Vegas game and stuff, and you've seen some of those games, he has been absolutely on form. He's been brilliant, but at the same time, his discipline's also quite bad. He's up there, I think, with most yellow cards for Wigan this season. So in some respects, I'm not surprised. But if he's not gelling in the team as well, and he's only having these blip games where he's very good, then I can understand why he's not making it onto the bench for me. And I can probably see him maybe being the 18th man for us, which is probably about right. Like I say, I looking to see the team that we played against Leon, and that's for me, that's going to be the team that's playing in the grand final.
Yeah, I just can't see. Does anybody see any difference to the Wigan team that played like? I don't see no change.
No.
Right, well, we'll move on to KR. Now, the Mickey McAloran bit, we've been touching on it. I think the other three are pretty safe. Jai Whitbread, Sam Luckley, haven't let KR down all season. Reece Martin's back, good option as well. Incredibly, Kalepi Tanganoa. It's unbelievable. It again just shows the depth of KR, Kalepi on the bench, because let's be fair, he's done nothing wrong either, really. And there you can see I put Jack Broadbent out. If McAloran plays, there's no Jack Broadbent. So, Bazza, as a Robins fan, McAloran in or McAloran out?
I'm probably gonna get a lot of pelters here, but McAloran has to start for me, even if he's 75% fit. It's what he brings in that middle, and we saw it firsthand when he had that quad injury. He shouldn't have even been anywhere near that final at Wembley, and he stood up against the likes of Philbin, Paul Vaughan, the Warrington pack, and he just brought us that cohesion, that calmness in the middle. And if we get that for 15, 20 minutes, and then we get Jez coming on matching that level of defence, but injecting a lot more pace into potentially a tiring Wigan defence. I think that's going to bode well for us going forward. I know it's not the prettiest. I know it comes across as boring and it's a huge game, but Mickey Mack has done that for us this year. And at times we have felt like slightly exposed when we've had no Mickey Mack, no JWH in that side. We've kind of had no leadership. Same, we saw it against St Helens when we brought Elliot Minchella off and JWH off the field. We've seemed to fall apart for 10, 15 minutes. So we need as many leaders on the field who know how to win a grand final, who knows that winning mentality. And that's why I think even for 15, 20 minutes, Mickey Mack is absolutely invaluable to Hull KR. And like, because Wigan are going to throw absolutely everything at us. And if we've just got that calmness and that steeliness in the middle, because for a lot of last year, we got bullied down the middle. We've not seen that this year. We've stiffened up in the middle. So even if it's a 70, 80% fit Mickey Mack, I think for me, he's got to start. And unfortunately, which is an absolute travesty, we're going to see the likes of Jack Broadbent, who misses out, and probably Kalepi Tanganoa. But I trust what Willie does, and I know he'll get it right.
I'd say I'm very surprised, Mr. Kingston. It's all about opinions, of course.
Absolutely.
But he's played 12 games this season. Now, let's remember, this is Hull KR, the League Leaders Shield winners. He's played 12 games as Mickey McAlorum, and 7 of those were against bottom 6 teams.
Well, you are absolutely right. Before you go any further, when we played Wigan at Craven Park in round 6, we was dominating that game. Wigan could not live with us in the middle. As soon as we had a problem with Mickey Mack, Wigan grew into the game and we just could not get back into it. And I think they're the key areas what we'll be focused on.
So this was the game in April?
Yes.
Right. He made 9 tackles.
But it was that state. Well, I think he only lasted about 10, 15 minutes. But that's what I'm saying. The start of the game before he got injured, we was really dominating. And then he went off injured about 10 minutes in. And obviously Wigan capitalised from him getting injured. And we was trying to get him off. And Wigan exposed a gap in the defence.
Yeah. But that was more you didn't get him off. As opposed, had you have made the interchange, would you have conceded that try?
Say that again, sorry, Dave.
Had you have made the interchange, would you have been found out? Had you have been able to make it quicker?
It was just a bit of confusion, wasn't it? It was like a communication between the bench and the players. So it happened in games, and unfortunately, it happened in a massive game. So, no, I know it's going to be a matter of opinion.
It's a big call. It's a massive call. I mean, Joel, for me, I'd have Broadbent on the bench and I'd go with the team he's played. The team that's got him, predominantly that has got him the league leaders and has been the most dominant team this season. I wouldn't bring a player in to disrupt that. What's your thoughts on it, Joel?
Jack's just been everything that Hull KR has done this year. To leave him out would be a trouble. When you brought up all the players, the first thing I was thinking of was the only thing that I'm worried about is whether players or not. Out of both teams, if anyone was left out, Jack would be the last one I'd want to be left out. He's so instrumental. He's the way he can run, can create opportunities for people. He support players out this way, and he's never even touched the ball in that play. And he's always been there. And it's just been immense. His work rate is. So I just can't see why Jack shouldn't play.
Yeah, Stef?
One thing we know in finals is people get injured. And I think if you've got to put a player in that's not 100% in Mickey Mack, who's only played 12 games all season, he's not going to be able to do big minutes. And if he goes down and then you lose another player, which I'm just talking about, that you're going to get, so on top of the Mickey Mack one, that leaves you down then to 2 interchanges. You're playing Wigan, who we know will grind you down and grind you down. What Broadbent gives you is a utility player who can come on and fill a variety of positions, but also not just be a utility, be an impact utility who can come on and do just probably as good a job, if not very close to it. So for me, when you play in a final, you've got to go into it with your best performing sides. And I get the Mickey Mack argument in terms of experience, but the stat is probably not a good one in terms of the oldest player to play in a grand final. What that means is he's not going to, the intensity that's going to be played at, the likelihood is he is going to get injured. You know, it's a very high chance because of how physical, attritional battle it's going to be. And I just think, and there's no right or wrong answer here. I totally get Baz's point, and you know, Mickey Mack could come on and do a brilliant job for them. We'll find out tomorrow if that does happen. But if I was Willie Peters, I would go with my 100% fit players that can really do because we know it's going to be a battle this between these two. So you need the players there who are going to be able to do longer than 15 minutes. And I think Mickey Mack's really only got 15 minutes in him in a stint at the moment, if that, because of the age stuff he's getting to. So that's why I would go with Broadbent.
So I do agree with you, Stefan. I am an absolute massive Jack Broadbent fan, and I think it's a travesty if he misses out. But what you've got to look at, we was firing really well against St Helens, and we only got Jack Broadbent on for the last 5-10 minutes purely because Artem Ward gets the knock. So it's one of them arguments. If our 13 players on the pitch are firing on all cylinders, we're rotating our props like we should, we don't need to make any interchanges on our outside backs, on our centres, on our fullback, on our wings. Where does Jack Broadbent come into that squad? Because he's not a second rower, he's not a prop, he's not an hooker. I know he's played a little bit at halfback. That could also be potentially a wasted interchange. You know, so there's pros and cons.
It's a good shout. And if we're going to go down that route, then Bazza, then I wouldn't have Broadbent or McLaurin. I'd have Tanganoa.
Well, yeah, but again, there's things that's gone on weeks and weeks ago.
Either way, though, Mickey Mack's not getting in my side. It's Tanganoa or Broadbent.
Yeah, well, absolutely, it's all a matter of opinions. This is why we're fans, and you know, the coaches get paid the big bucks for taking the responsibility, and we all have our opinion, and every one of them is absolutely valid. We'll just have to see what happens. I just know when all 34 players to that field tomorrow night, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be incredible. There's going to be fireworks. I dare say even a couple of cards. It's going to be epic, and I know it'll be a full-blooded affair between both clubs, whoever takes that field.
Yeah,
100%.
Really great. Reggie, your thoughts on Broadbent stroke McIlaurin?
Yeah, I hear what Bazza says, and Bazza has seen a lot more of Hull KR this season than I have, so I respect his opinion. For me, as a Warrington fan going into a grand final and playing players who are not 100% fit, that is the biggest mistake you can make for me. McIlaurin, he's not. Say yeah, Fitzgibbon. In any final, whether it's a Challenge Cup final, whether it's a grand final, for me, as much as McIlaurin brings that solidity in the middle, and again with JWH, that fear factor, because you know he's a nasty piece of work, is McIlaurin, and he's got that reputation. For me, he cannot be anywhere near your team tomorrow night, mate. He cannot, because he's not 100% fit. You have to go with Broadbent because there's question marks over Morg. Morg might not be 100% fit. And I know you're squirming there, Baz. You're squirming.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
But this is my honest opinion. Morg got a knock last week. Yeah, he said he's fit, but he only needs to take a knock in the same place in the first 10, 15 minutes tomorrow night. And I would hate Hull KR to lose out because Morg gets injured and they haven't got somebody on the bench that can do a good job at fullback, which Broadbent can do. So for me, I agree with Stef. McIlaurin cannot be anywhere near your 17 tomorrow night.
I think that'd be a telltale sign if Broadbent was on the bench that there could be doubts over Morg, and that'd be where we'd know if Morg's 100% or not, if Broadbent is on that bench.
But the other flip side here as well is the fact that, you see a lot of outside backs. I mean, case in point, Benison with JWH. They are prone to a knock. Jake Fewlis at Warrington. So, what we haven't factored in here is HIA protocols. If players have to leave the field for 10 minutes, Jack Broadbent brings you a hell of a lot of versatility because he can come on for that 10 minutes and he can cover a variety of positions that nobody else can. For pretty much right away from 1 to 7, Jack Broadbent, and at a push 9, Jack Broadbent could cover. So
he could go into second row as well.
Yeah.
And he could put Broadbent in at centre there. If he was a forward, you needed to cover or
100%. 100%, mate. So like I say, in games like this, so look at Junior December last year. When Junior December went down last year in the final. That's it. That's happy days. I mean, it's not happy days, and it affects your interchange, but it's happy days because of your bench. Your bench has always got forwards on. It's happy days. If you're gonna have somebody go off, better it be a forward because you can cope with that quite easily. But what if it's a back? What if it's a back? Just so if you have Mickey McElhone starting, you've got Jez Litton on the bench. Jez Litton can't play centre.
Yeah, that cost Warrington that grand final when they were so far ahead of Wigan at half time.
Yeah.
They lost too many backs. They didn't have a back on the bench.
Nope.
And that cost us. That was our grand final. That was our chance, and we didn't have a back on the bench. We lost
the good thing with the Jez Litton is you don't need a hooker. That's the good. We know Jez can do 80 minutes. So that's where Hull KR have got an advantage in their squad because he can do an 80-minute performance if he wants. So that does drop a hooker off the bench and allow you to put a back on if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. This for me.
This proves it proves it's so important that with having all debates and discussions about who you'd have in and who you'd have missing shows that the best teams are in the grand final because the best team plethora of such good players.
Absolutely.
So whether they're out, you've got great players on the field, and that looks luxury.
We're in for a treat, boys. Before we get to bet stuff, we're in for an absolute treat. Yeah, there's quality all over this pitch tomorrow, and I'm just hoping and praying it's the final that the season deserves. Let's just hope that that's the case. It's an absolute blockbuster, full of incident, good incident, not like we don't want controversy. Going to have the odd decision. That's just the way that it is. But I just want a really good, high standard of rugby league. And these two players, I think what's really good about this one is the fact that KR come into this unlike last year. They shouldn't have stage fright. They're the Challenge Cup winners. They're the League Leaders Shield winners, and they've been to a grand final and lost one. So they should be, and they should know how good a team they are as well. So last year they put up a hell of a fight, probably with that underdog stroke, stage fright. Not saying they got it, but you get the point. This year that ain't the case. This year they're absolutely Wiggins equal, 100%, no doubt about it. So what we want to see, like we see in the NRL, is two juggernaut sides giving their absolute best. And if we get that, we are in for an absolute treat, gentlemen. It's going to be a privilege. Not just that, the amount of us that are going together, that's even more of a privilege. But what a day we have got planned for tomorrow. Frightening what a day we've got planned for tomorrow. But first things first, as it is the captain's run, it is the very final one of the season. Oh, you might do a bet Stef for the Ashes, but wipe your tears away. The lad who's been getting it wrong for most of the season, but got one right. He's going to have one more stab. Two right.
Two right.
He's going to have one more stab. Here we go. Let's get to bet Stef.
Are you sick and tired of winning your bets every week? Want to contribute to the bookies' Christmas party? The bets to ignore when predicting the score. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Bet Stef.
Oh, you said like you're going to say something then. No, yeah. So last bet Stef. So I did promise you an all singing, all dancing super bet Stef for this one. So if this one comes in, it will be happy days. So I've gone for on the handicap Hull KR plus 4.5. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that I think Hull KR is going to win the game, but I do think it's going to be very, very close. So that 4.5, just over a try average there, has swung the handicap in KR's favour for me. Jaifield to score a try. He won't be backing against Jaifield to score a try with the form he's been on. As you called earlier, Dave, well done, Jez Litton to win player of the match. I do think Jez, given the season he's had, he's going to be right up there on the journos list to be picking. So if he has a good game, there's a good chance he's going to win this. First scoring place. There's some different bets coming to this one. I've gone for a Hull KR try to be the first scoring play, and also Joe Burgess to score a try. All ones that I think are quite reasonable things to happen here. And if you did fancy a flutter on this one, 121 to 1 for this one to come in. Now, like I just said, they're all good chances of coming in, those. I think that's a phenomenal accumulator.
Well, Paul Fell's calling you out. He said, with that bet, Stef, you expected a KR win, is what he's saying. He expected a KR win. So that's where we're going to finish this show. Well, Joel's already finished. He's already... Good
night, Joel.
Joel. That's where we're going to finish this one. Right, sum up. I'm going to give you a minute each. Sum up and give me your prediction. Bazza starting. In fact, we'll leave the lads till last. It's there. We'll leave the boys till last. Let's start with a panel. Stef, sum this one up. What you're looking forward to. Razmat has it, and then which way do you think it's going to go?
Well, I think it's the right final. I think the over the season, Lee would have been lucky to get there, as would St Helens. I think it's the right two teams that have got to the final. So fair play to both those teams. We saw last season, what they were both capable of producing, and only by a bit of Bevan French magic, Wigan won that game. My only hope for this one is the Wigan fans are allowed to turn up in their kit. That's my only hope for this. But no, I'm sure they'll be wearing the shirts with pride in the stands, as any fan should be. I'm going to go for a KR win.
Fantastic. Score?
1-8. It's going to be close.
Fair play. Greg?
Oh, last year was a war of attrition. Harry Smith, for me, was the difference. Should have got player of the game. A bit of Bevan French magic, as we all know. For me, Wigan have got the experience. Hull KR went there last year. They didn't perform as well as they should. But for me, Wigan know how to win these games. And as much as it'd be great to get a new name on the trophy, and again, Bazza, I'm going to apologise to you. Wigan, they just know how to win it. It's incredible. They just know how to win games like this. They could be awful all year, but they know how to win games like this. And I'm going for 9-17 Wigan.
That's a big win. Wow.
I'm going 9-17 Wigan.
That's a big call, mate. That's a big call. Hey.
He's scared of his mate from last grand final.
Say again.
His mates. His mates. Yeah. For those who don't know, Greg got a super fan at the grand final from Super League Raw, and to say that he was filthy with Greg was an understatement. Absolute comedy gold. Joel, your take?
Well, I'm certainly not scared of anyone giving me any pelters on the night. Bring them at me if you want. I've go for. I'm a Yorkshire lad. We need to get a Yorkshire team on that trophy. Bring it at 1 point. I think it's going to be a drop goal. It's going to be so close. And it could be. No, I think it could be one of these crazy ones where Mike sweet post.
Wow.
Okay,
The theatre of that. Imagine that we get to Golden Point. Oh. I mean, Craig's shaking his head. Bazza's having a little scratch. They're not so sure, but I tell you, as a neutral, outstanding. Oh, that'd be immense. Right, as you've got the home dressing room, Baz, you can go first. Sum it up, mate.
Amazing year, mate. I always said after Wembley, anything else that comes along for Hull KR is a bonus. I mean, I'm wearing a shirt from 2017. You know, never forget them dark days in the Championship. So days like this, mate, is phenomenal. So I think we have been the more consistent side of 2025. We have improved. People saying that Wigan know how to get the win, and I think a lot of the media, nobody's giving KR a prayer, pretty much saying what Reggie's saying. But what you need to remember is we are getting that experience in finals. We've appeared in 4 of the last 6. You know, since 2021, we've appeared in 11 semi-finals. So that's good building over the last 4 years or so. I'm confident this year. Was in our shell last year. I think we saw that when the full-time auto went against St Helens, we didn't celebrate it like we just won a grand final. We was calm. It felt like job done, very focused. The boys was out from last year. I was swaying KR 1-8, seeing some of the comments, especially from Yorkshire lads in the chat. You know what? I'm going to really back my boys and I'm going to go KR 9-17, but lower end of the 9-17.
Come on, lad. That's what we want to see. There you go. A bit of passion for the fans. Come on, son.
Wigan have been chasing us all year, and yeah, I'm going to back our boys.
Go on, son. Oh, loving that. Craig, over to you.
Yeah, just this season's been absolutely fantastic. Obviously, we didn't have the highs of last year for Wigan, but was never going to achieve that anyway. But just for everything this year, being a member of Super League Raw has just made this year even better. It's just been fantastic from Magic Weekend to Wembley to obviously now to the grand final tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it all. This game, it's going to be so tight. I'm just anything but golden point, anything but that. But I think this game's going to be won by the best defence. KR last week strangled St Helens and did a real good job. Last week, I think Lee strangled Wigan and Wigan managed to come away with a win. So Wigan have got a bit of an advantage in that sense. Our defence has been better throughout of it, but it's going to be so tight. But I am going to back my boys. I'm going to go Wigan 1-8, probably in the lower side of that. Just not golden point. I don't think I could cope with golden point.
All right, now the question is, are we going to have a Craig Forth like Magic where you're quiet as a mouse until you win?
Probably. Last year at grand final, I don't think I actually started celebrating until like 17.
It's because he was surrounded by Leeds and Warrington fans.
No, that's just saying. No, but look, what a season! What a season! This has been absolutely incredible. Like I said a moment ago, it deserves a final of distinction. We've had, Lee. Been incredible, finishing third. The resurgent Leeds Rhinos under Brad Arthur, Jake Connor, what they produced, some of the tries, the one against Baz's team, great example, just sensational memories that they've given their fans this year. Wakefield Trinity, of course, let's not forget that. Even Saints, because the try, their last try, the season against Leeds, incredible, absolutely incredible. All the teams have all contributed. We've had upsets. We'd have thought Castle to beat Wakey. I mean, that really shook them up, at that point of the season. So we've had real surprises along the way. It's just been quite simply a brilliant 2025 campaign. Can't wait for tomorrow. If you're not Super League Raw members but would like to come and say hello to us, we plan on being on the Alex Ferguson Bridge, the biggest stand at Old Trafford, the North Stand. There's a bridge that goes towards that from the road. We're going to be stood on there about 5 o'clock. We're going to have a group photo up with the members that are coming with us, but members that are meeting us there as well. So by all means, come and meet the community if that's what you want to come and do. It'd be outstanding to see you all as well. Matt, I've predicted, haven't I? Yeah, well done. Right, nice to remember. Yeah, I mean, look, in terms of the season, like I say, for me, I said I wanted a new name on the trophy. So I've got to back KR because I do genuinely want a new name on the trophy. But they've got one hell of a job on. I mean, one thing's for certain, if KR win this game tomorrow, there can be no question mark on how they've done it. If they had not beat Wigan in the final, and I think that's the thing about a champion team like Wigan, if you're going to win a grand final, you want to beat the best to do it. And I think there's very little between these two teams. So there's one thing's for certain. Whoever walks off that field with a trophy tomorrow night, they will walk off that field knowing that they faced the best opposition that they had this season. And that, for me, is how it should be. So we're in for an absolutely great day. We're going to be doing loads of lives as well tomorrow. We're going to be doing lives from the Bluebell. We're going to try and do a live from the coaches on the way. We're going to try and do a live from Old Trafford, and we're going to do a live at the after party. So, you know, there's going to be plenty. Keep your eyes on our YouTube channel tomorrow. We're going to be popping up here, there, and everywhere. You'll be able to see what it's like to be at a grand final with Super League Raw. I, for one, think it's going to be an absolutely wonderful day. Just got to find a better way of getting the tickets sent out to people. Boy, that's been a chore. But anyway, that's by the by. On behalf of all of us, we hope you've enjoyed the final captain's run of 2025. It will be back in 2026. For everybody who's going to the grand final, I say this every year, go, enjoy it, celebrate our greatest game on earth, behave yourselves, represent our sport with the dignity that it deserves, and let's all get along at the end of it. Look after yourselves. See you at the grand final. Bye for now.